It is close to the ground. We're actually very close to Scott as well. We've just seen him drive past. But what we have here is a battle royale. Well, it was a battle royale going on. There are two Speaks-hinged tortoises here, this one that you're looking at, and one in a hole just up this bank. And Herbert suddenly collapsed in laughter as we arrived here, because the one that has just gone back into the hole pushed this one, rolling all the way down the bank and into the grass. And now the vanquished is on its way back up. So let's see if it manages to find its enemy once more. It's a little bit like watching Ronald go up one of these banks. You just don't think he's going to make it. So unwieldy are his movements. Come on. Right, let's see what happens. This is going to be hilarious. So look at the hole they've gone into. So that the other one is a little bit bigger. I can see them. I can see one. Yes, there's a scuffle. There's a scuffle breaking out now. Things seem to have calmed down a little. One of the best sightings I've ever had out here has been two of these chaps fighting each other. It was just prior to the Mayweather-McGregor showdown. Well, about 4 months or so before. So it was a topical thing to have seen. Now you can just see the one. There is some movement. We'll give it another minute. Let's see if they resume their conflict. I don't know if it was a domestic dispute or what it was. But isn't that interesting? We're often asked, of course, where do tortoises go when it's not ideal conditions, or when the conditions are not ideal? That's what they do. They go into holes like that, in banks and in termite mounds. There you can see it now. There is some movement in there. I suspect not all of it's cordial. And just on the subject of tortoises, there's a tortoise that comes into our camp every day for some reason. Oh, look, there are another two. See them? Two more coming this way. They're about to come down the bank as well. Here they are. Let's see what they do. It's definitely mating season, so the tortoise that comes into camp every day is a female, and we caught her in broad daylight, in flagrante delicto the other day, and I think that there is obviously a lot of tortoise mating going on at the moment. Female in front there, I suspect, bigger than the male behind. Now, the most disturbing thing about our sighting of our beloved camp tortoise was that its partners, well, not to put too fine a point on it, but the design of the male tortoise's penis is quite something. It is this enormous hooked appendage, because in order for it to gain access to the female's breeding opening, it's got to be the most. I've always wondered how on earth it happens, and we managed to see it at close quarters the other day, and it really is quite something. So I suspect this dispute that happened before you came across to us had something to do with breeding, fighting over girls. Dreadful. No good at all. These two seem to have calmed down now, or they've seen Viam and are intimidated by him. Mac, you say love is in the air. Well, certainly a version thereof. Now they're just a bit nervous of us. It's quite cold today. I mean, it's not cold, but it's not ideal reptile weather. Anyway, that was very interesting. All of them speaks hinged tortoises, much more common than the other leopard tortoise. Well, that's the thing, Colbert. You say, when do we see the hatchlings? I don't think I've ever seen a hatchling speaks hinged tortoise. I have seen very small leopard tortoises, but never a speaks hinged one. So I don't know. I mean, I think they come out early summer. So the breeding takes place now. And then you'll probably find that there's some kind of internal egg making process that takes place in the female. She probably lays them around March, and I suspect they hatch somewhere around August, but I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I can't believe they'd be born during the winter, though, because that would be very odd. Clifford, do you want to know about the smallest species of tortoise? Well, this is the smallest one we get here. We only get two here. We get the speaks hinged tortoise and the leopard tortoise. The smallest tortoise in South Africa is something about this big, and its name naturally escapes me. I don't know, Clifford, I'm sorry about that. But this is definitely smaller than the leopard tortoise. And I've always thought that the design of the speaks hinged tortoise is not nearly as clever as the leopard tortoise, because the leopard tortoise is much rounder, which means that something like a hyena or a lion or a leopard will struggle to get a purchase with a bite. But this thing is, well, sort of hamburger-shaped for them. But there are quite a few of them. Ah, there we go. It has been googlied by the final control room. It is, I think, the speckled tortoise. It is the smallest tortoise in South Africa. Speckled tortoise. I've got a Sisyphus in my bottom.